Soft, eerie music fades in, a slow, deliberate zoom on a framed photo of Lilah sitting on a windowsill. Her smile is bright, but the dim, cold lighting around the photo tells a different story. Sometimes, the moments we never see coming are the ones that change a family forever. A heartbeat sound pulses under the music. Empty Roloff Farms pathways, a swing swaying in the wind, a close-up of a door slowly closing, shadows, silence. Tonight, we uncover the mysterious moment fans have whispered about online, the moment some refer to as Lilah's last goodbye. Soft static glitch as if hiding something. But what could have possibly pushed the Roloff family into a nightmare no one ever expected, and no one was prepared for? This is a fictional, dramatic scenario inspired by fan discussion. None of the events in this story are real. This is the imagined heartbreak and the emotional unraveling of a family loved by millions. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. As the music shifts from the tense cold open into a slower, more reflective rhythm, we welcome viewers into the heart of this emotional, imagined deep dive. In this video, we explore a what-if scenario shaped by years of fan speculation, whispered theories, and the kind of dramatic twists that viewers have come to associate with the Roloff family story. While everything you're about to hear is fictional, it's inspired by real conversations that fans have had online, conversations filled with hope, fear, and deep investment in the family's journey. For years, followers of Little People, Big World have expressed growing concerns. Some point to subtle shifts in family dynamics, others to tension that seems to simmer just below the surface. And whenever something appears off, whether it's a quiet moment between the parents, a cryptic social media post, or a storyline that feels a little too rushed, fans start asking the same questions. What's really going on? In our imagined scenario, those concerns begin to crystallize into something far more alarming. Whispers of family disagreements evolve into full-blown tension. Long-standing emotional fractures deepen. And then, without warning, everything changes with a sudden heart-stopping moment involving Lilah. A moment so shocking, so unexpected, that it sends the entire family into a spiral of fear, confusion, and heartbreak. This video explores that possibility, a fictional world where the Roloffs must confront a devastating crisis that shakes them to their core. Over the next hour, we'll journey through an emotional landscape built from fan theories, dramatic interpretation, and storytelling that asks one central question: how would the Roloffs respond if the unthinkable happened? We remind viewers once more, this is not real. It's an imaginative, narrative-driven deep dive that allows longtime fans to explore the emotional stakes and complicated bonds of a family they've followed for years. And with that, the story begins. The video fades into quiet, peaceful footage of the Roloff family, laughing, talking, cooking together, creating a sense of warmth and normalcy. This is the world before everything unravels. In this imagined scenario, the family dynamic seems steady on the surface. Zach and Tori are doing their best to juggle the constant pressures of parenting 3 kids while still living under the weight of public attention. Viewers often assume they navigate these challenges with ease, but behind the scenes, within this fictional narrative, the cracks are beginning to show. Zach is portrayed as exhausted but determined, trying to be the steady anchor for his family. Tori, balancing her emotional load, feels the strain of keeping everyone afloat while still being the gentle, upbeat mom fans love. Their conversations feel heavier, their smiles a little slower to appear. In this fictional depiction, subtle signs begin to emerge, small moments with Lilah that spark concern. A hesitation in her step, a distant look, unexplained tiredness. Nothing dramatic enough to raise alarms, yet unsettling enough that Tori and Zach exchange those worried glances only parents understand. As the minutes pass, the tone shifts. The once lighthearted atmosphere grows thicker with tension. The audience can sense it even if the family doesn't fully see it yet. A soft, haunting underscore builds as the narrator hints at the growing shadow over the Roloffs. This is the quiet before the storm, the moment when life still feels controllable, even though something unimaginable is already on the horizon. A foreboding energy settles in. A turning point is coming, and no one is ready for it. The music cuts suddenly. A scream, a cry, a gasp, whatever the imagined moment is, it hits like a shockwave. In this fictional scenario, the event that shatters the Roloff's world unfolds in an instant. Maybe it's a medical emergency. Maybe it's a terrifying fall. Maybe Lilah suddenly collapses. The screen tightens on Tori's face, fear flooding her eyes. Zach's voice cracks as he calls for help. The calm is gone, replaced with chaos that feels too real, too sudden, too heartbreaking. The audience watches, breathless, as the family spirals into panic. Tori's hands shake as she tries to comfort Lilah, whispering desperate words no mother ever wants to say. Zach fumbles for his phone, torn between calling emergency services and staying by his daughter's side. Every second is heavy. Every sound is unbearable. The imagined hospital rush is frantic, doors slamming open, nurses taking over, monitors beeping. Tori clings to Zach. Zach tries to stay strong, but his tears betray him. In this fictional timeline, their world is falling apart and all they can do is hold on. Meanwhile, fans online react instantly. In this dramatic reimagining, social media explodes with fear, confusion, and heartbreak. Messages asking, "What happened to Lilah?" flood timelines. Support pours in, but so does speculation, making everything feel even more overwhelming for the family. As the minutes drag on in the waiting room, Zach and Tori try to stay strong for their kids, even though they're breaking inside. Jackson asks questions they can't answer. Josiah senses the tension and cries. Tori holds them close, silently praying for a miracle in this imagined nightmare. And just like that, the Roloff family's fictional world is forever changed. As the fictional story reaches its emotional peak, fans imagine the moment that has been haunting them since the very first teaser. Lilah, last goodbye. It's a scene drenched in heartbreak, fear, and the kind of silence that says everything words never could. Viewers picture the Roloff home dimly lit, the camera lingering on trembling hands, tear-glossed eyes, and the weight of uncertainty pressing down on every corner of the room. In this imagined moment, Lilah is the quiet center of the storm. Tori holds her close, her voice barely a whisper as she promises, "Mommy's right here, we're not going anywhere." Zach stands just behind them, his face tight with emotion, caught between wanting to be strong and wanting to fall apart. He reaches out, touching Lilah's back as if anchoring her to the world, terrified of letting go even for a second. Jackson, still so young but old enough to sense something is deeply wrong, keeps his eyes locked on his sister. Fans imagine him inching closer, slipping his small hand into hers. Without words, he gives her a piece of his heart, an unspoken bond that carries more weight than any line of dialogue could. The family gathers around, forming a protective circle. Amy, Matt, even relatives who rarely appear together in peace, everyone unites in this fictional moment. The past doesn't matter here, not arguments, not tension, not old wounds. What matters is Lilah. What matters is love. What matters is the terrifying possibility of goodbye. The scene fans imagine is quiet, almost too quiet. You hear breathing, sniffling, the rustle of blankets. The world outside seems to stop, and in that stillness, Lilah's soft, sleepy expression becomes the emotional breaking point. It's the face of a child who doesn't understand what's happening, but whose innocence makes the fear even stronger. For viewers, this goodbye isn't literal, it's symbolic. It represents every parent's nightmare, every family's deepest fear, not knowing what tomorrow will look like, not knowing if things will ever go back to normal. It captures the fragility of life, the fierce love parents feel, and the way a moment can change everything. To fans, the scene becomes a mirror of their own anxieties. It embodies the fear of losing someone you love, the hope that love is enough to pull a family through, the uncertainty that lingers when answers are still unknown. This imagined farewell echoes long after the moment ends. It becomes the emotional core of the fictional narrative, an unforgettable scene that reminds viewers why the Roloffs, even in fanfiction, remain a family people feel connected to. In the hours and days after Lilah's imagined last goodbye, the Roloff family enters a period of deep emotional recovery, one that feels like walking through a world that has suddenly changed shape. Zach and Tori move quietly through their home, still hearing echoes of that heartbreaking moment, still replaying the fear, the helplessness, and the overwhelming rush to hold their daughter close. Jackson watches his parents with wide, searching eyes, sensing the weight even if he doesn't fully understand it. It's a fragile time. Every hug lasts longer, every whisper between them carries a new layer of meaning. As the fictional narrative continues, the family begins to speak openly about what this moment taught them. Zach reflects on how quickly life can bend, how suddenly the things you take for granted can slip into danger. Tori shares imagined words about strength, how being a mother means holding on to hope even when fear tries to pull it away. Together, they talk about rebuilding, slowly, carefully, with gratitude at the center of every day. This moment becomes a turning point in their story, an emotional line that divides before from after. Fans within this fictional world react with an outpouring of support. Messages, tribute edits, heartfelt comments, and imagined letters flooding online spaces. They share their own fears, their own experiences with family crises, and their own interpretations of the symbolic goodbye. Viewers talk about how Lilah's scene touched something universal: the fear of losing someone you love, the agony of uncertainty, and the reminder that family bonds are both powerful and fragile. The Roloffs in this dramatic fictional scenario release brief statements thanking supporters for their compassion. Amy imagines a reflective message about the strength of family ties. Matt expresses appreciation for the community that has surrounded them with empathy. Even Jeremy, Audrey, and Molly share quiet tributes, each one a small piece of healing offered back to Zach and Tori. As this section of the story closes, the legacy of this emotional moment becomes clear. It teaches the family and the audience something profound about love, that it is not guaranteed, that it must be protected, cherished, and spoken out loud. The fragility they faced becomes a reminder of their unity. The fear they felt becomes a reason to hold each other closer. And Lilah's symbolic goodbye, though devastating, evolves into a lesson about resilience, faith, and the power of staying connected even when the world feels like it's falling apart. As the final moments of this imagined journey come to a close, we're left reflecting on the emotional storm the Roloff family faced in this fictional scenario. What began as a quiet evening spiraled into a heart-stopping ordeal, one that tested every bond, every hope, and every ounce of strength they had left. In this fanfiction world, the Roloffs emerge forever changed. Not because of loss, but because of the reminder that love is fragile, time is precious, and families grow stronger through the fears they survive together. Lilah, last goodbye may have been only symbolic, but its impact echoes through every imagined scene, showing us how quickly life can shift, how deeply we feel, and how fiercely families fight for each other. This story reminds us of the power of storytelling, the ability to explore the emotions we fear most, to deepen our appreciation for the moments we often take for granted, and to honor the resilience found in even the most vulnerable hearts. And so, as we step back from this fictional nightmare and return to reality, we carry with us one final thought: cherish your people, hold them close, and never underestimate the quiet strength of a family bound by love. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.